And Johnny, moving on the rest of the podcast, this is a long one only because I didn't expect Titans to go as long as it did, and I didn't expect Wizard World to go as long as you did. So you're getting your money's worth out of this podcast. But we got 2 more getting through it, and now we're jumping Marvel, rest of the show. Johnny's like, great, my wheelhouse, finally. And the thing that was announced at D23 that was so cool for Marvel, several things. They showed off Black Widow stuff. Like I said earlier in the podcast, we're not going to talk about that until we actually get it released to the masses. But the thing that was announced, and I want to say you were right on one of them. The Moon Knight one you were right on, right? You said remember. Disney Plus. I got to listen back to our predictions from last week. I believe both of us said we would do Moon Knight as a Disney Plus series over a movie. So, I mean, that's one where I was like, hey, we were right. But Disney announced Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel as Disney Plus series that I believe are coming. Let's see. Disney Plus Marvel schedule. I'm going to look up. I think they're coming in phase 4. So we've got these 3 now announced. Moon Knight, we've got She-Hulk, we've got Miss Marvel. Johnny, I'm going to ask you straight up. Is Marvel choosing correctly? Are they making the right decision by deciding to say, hey, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel are going to be Disney series compared to movies in the MCU?
I think it's a good route to go. Because, Moon Knight, I feel like could almost be played off sort of like the Netflix series for Punisher / Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Worked really well for those two.
Yeah.
To be a TV series as opposed to a movie. Just because, like, you can play out storylines, ebb and flow with them, and then you could just show more about his back character than you could probably in 1 hour, like a 2-hour movie.
True.
The one thing I'm thinking about with She-Hulk, do we get a Mark Ruffalo cameo?
Because
She-Hulk becomes She-Hulk by a blood transfusion from Mark Ruffalo, from the Hulk or Bruce Banner.
I would think you'd have to then, right?
I would hope so. That'd be awesome.
And Mark Ruffalo would be on for it.
I think he would be, yeah.
Like, the reason why I'm going to say yes to that is Mark Ruffalo loves playing the Hulk. Mm-hmm. Like, if you've ever watched interviews of him, he actually gets so testy and so frustrated when you bring up a Hulk solo movie. Because he wants to do one. He wants to be Hulk. But like he said in one of them on the red carpet, and Don Cheadle, who was with him, kind of made fun of him for it to kind of ease the tension. But he was like, we will never get a standalone Hulk movie because Universal doesn't know how to play nice with Marvel. Mm-hmm. And you could tell it kills him because he wants to play Hulk in a standalone Hulk movie. But he gets to play the Hulk. But yet again, it's not really his thing. So it's like, how much of it is he going to be in? Because you don't want to take the spotlight away from She-Hulk.
I would say it'd be 1 to 2 episodes.
Okay.
And maybe intermittent, like here and there. Like maybe she asks advice here and there of like, how do you deal with this? Like,
true.
She probably maybe even go like, I'm angry all the time. How do I deal with this? Mm-hmm. Because you see She-Hulk stay She-Hulk more often than, well, aside from. Then Hulk stays Hulk, or Bruce Banner stays Hulk until obviously Endgame spoilers if you haven't seen it. Where he's I'm gonna still say Professor Hulk, even though I saw an article say stop calling it Professor Hulk.
Yeah,
it's Professor Hulk.
It's Professor Hulk.
You go by the comics, Professor Hulk.
Yeah. So I did look it up, by the way. There's not exact dates on the Kevin Feige panel or presentation from D23. But they did show a banner behind him that had the same type of schedule layout that they did for San Diego Comic-Con, except at the top it says Disney Plus, says Phase 4, then has Winter Soldier and Falcon, then WandaVision, then Loki, then What If, then Hawkeye. I think that's the order we get them in. We get Falcon, Winter Soldier first. WandaVision is around the same time as Doctor Strange. Loki, I believe, is before What If, and then Hawkeye's at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The rest of the 3 are after that. So you've got Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and then She-Hulk. If they're in that order, Miss Marvel is first, Moon Knight is second, She-Hulk is last. Here's my question is, how long then is Phase 4 going to last? Because I have to double check with the last one, but I thought Thor was the last Phase 4 thing that they had at San Diego Comic-Con, and that was November.
Planned, though.
So you're thinking Phase 4 is going to dip into
maybe
longer.
I mean, it might dip in longer. It might just be like, I mean, Thor 4 is probably not coming to us until 2 years from now.
So I have it pulled up here. Thor 4 is November 5th of 2021.
Exactly, 2 years from now. So we got time. I mean, these are all planned. Disney Plus series are all planned for the end of the year. Or until like the end of next year. So,
Falcon Winter.
You said end of this year.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
This is all Phase 4.
Yeah.
Falcon Winter Soldier is fall 2020. So a year from now we'll get that.
Okay.
Then WandaVision, which will be spring 2021. That's around the same. That's the same exact time as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Either right before or right after. Also in the spring of 2021, we have Loki. So we get 2 series in the spring of 2021. Then in the summer of 2021, we get What If, which at D23, they did a cool What If thing, which they announced what the first episode is going to be.
What if Captain America was a zombie?
What if Peggy Carter got the super serum?
Really?
Yes. What if Peggy Carter got the super serum? And they showed off some of the animation of like her in the Captain America suit.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, holy shit. That's kind of cool. And then Hawkeye, which is fall of 2021. So before this, for Disney Plus, you'd have one in 2020. The rest would be 2021. Are these then, do you think these then are going to be, I'll say this, is one of them or two of them winter 2021, or do you save 2 of them for 2022? Because the last Marvel movie of Phase 4 we have right now is Thor in November. The last Disney Plus we have is Hawkeye, fall 2021. And they listed these 3 as Phase 4. So
maybe at least throw one more in. Because at this point, they can end phases whenever in the year they want. Yeah. It's just more of a how long do we want to like make this last? Because I mean, the one, and also we don't know when the timeline they're going to be in. Mm-hmm. Like you couldn't do like Moon Knight happens during the 5-year part of the snap.
True.
Like we need up and coming heroes, so I guess like I'm gonna be one now, type thing. Or
so his is more of a flashback, like Black Widow.
His could be a flashback, and so could
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, where it's like that's part of why Bruce is how he is now. Is hey, he did blood transfusion with She-Hulk. She's able to be She-Hulk and not be one or the like. There's not just a She-Hulk and whatever her name was. I can't remember. She is She-Hulk, like the brains and the brawn together.
Here's my question about She-Hulk.
And maybe that's like where he goes, if she can put them together, I've had this my whole life for quite a long time.
He's kind of been doing it though.
It's like I can put this together then for myself.
So you're saying it happens before we see Professor Hulk?
Like, I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it is, but it could be.
In Endgame, he was doing what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like
5-year jump, he is Professor Hulk.
Okay. So with She-Hulk, you are thinking of Jennifer Walters.
Yeah. So like, if she can be not Jennifer Walters, not a Hulk, but She-Hulk, she's Jennifer Walters with the brains and the brawn, I can be Bruce Banner with the brains and the brawn. And like, that gives them the motivation to, what he said, 18 months in the Gamma Lab.
Yeah. So, and those for you who are like, I'm not in on She-Hulk's story. It says here, following an injury, Jennifer Walters received an emergency blood transfusion from her cousin, Bruce Banner, and acquired a milder version of his Hulk condition, such as Walters becomes a large, powerful, green-hued version of herself while still largely retaining her personality. In particular, she retains her intelligence and emotional control, although like Hulk, she still becomes stronger if enraged. In later issues of the comic, her transformation is permanent. So maybe they play on that, where the first part of it, it's not permanent, and then by the end, it becomes permanent. Maybe they do a vice versa thing of it's not permanent, and Hulk already mastered it. He teaches her, and that's how she masters it to become just She-Hulk whenever.
Or it could be after he's already done like the Professor Hulk thing, and emergency happens. Only family member that could donate blood does the transfusion, and like sees that like she's maybe it's like a slowly throughout like she's fine, Hulks out, but like still retains her personality. Fine, Hulks out, but as she does it each time, realizes that like one of the times it doesn't like turn back right away.
You're talking like her hand hulks out and it stays green?
Like she hulks out and it's lasting longer than last time. And she's like, why can I not turn back? Why am I not turning back? And then one time she does it, it's done. She's She-Hulk.
Yeah. That one to me is the most interesting of the three because I don't know. And it's also the one that's kind of like the surprise. Like we knew they wanted to do Miss Marvel.
Yeah, we knew
they wanted to do
surprise
Moon
in
Knight.
that way, yeah.
Surprise, like that. I didn't know we were like
getting a She-Hulk.
I thought we were gonna get a Miss Marvel movie, and then Kevin Feige's like it'll probably be Disney Plus. Moon Knight, we didn't know movie Disney Plus, but we knew it was coming. I didn't know they were gonna hit us with She-Hulk so early. And the thing I like by adding her in is that she can kind of, and this is going to sound very bad, but I don't mean it this way, obviously. She can kind of get passed around to where she's been a member of the Avengers. You can have her in the Avengers if you want, if you have a big enough event. She's been in the Fantastic Four. You can throw her there if it's a big enough event. Eventually down the line, if they ever get the rights to do Luke Cage and Iron Fist again, she's been in Heroes for Hire. If you ever then get the rights then to Daredevil, and I don't want to say rights, I'm saying their agreement with Netflix where they can't touch those characters for a certain amount of years. She's also been in the Defenders as well, to where, yes, it's a Disney Plus series, but because it's in the MCU, you can include her in these different groups for big enough events if you
pull her out of that and put her somewhere else. Just like a few of these. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel was like the not surprise one, but the interesting one for me.
Okay.
Because how she gets her powers has not been introduced in the MCU yet.
Okay.
It was introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's kind of, you can take you can give her a take on that one.
For dum-dums like me who didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know. So
you're like, I know you're dumb.
No, I'm saying, yeah, hold on. Let me get to that point. So how she gets her powers is a process called pterogenesis.
Okay.
I'll just read the little paragraph, the 2 paragraphs right here. One night, hoping to prove herself as more than an odd duck, Kamala went against her parents' wishes and Bruno's to go to the party at the Jersey waterfront. However, her classmates, particularly Zoe Zimmer and her boyfriend Josh Richardson, kept teasing and ostracizing her. Miserable Kamala was on her way home when Jersey City was suddenly blanketed in the Terrigen mists. And Kamala, along with it, unconscious in her Terrigen cocoon, Kamala saw. So basically, Terrigenesis happens as this mist that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was something made by the, not Chitauri, but the Kree. And that was like hundreds of years back, where they were testing on humans to make superhumans. For their own armies to stuff with that. Well,
trying to make more Miss Marvels. Captain
Marvel, in a sense, yeah. But what happened? Well, yes and no. What happens is like each human reacts differently. Well, in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's kind of a dormant gene where if you're hit with the Terrigen Mist, one of two things can happen. Mm-hmm. You die.
That's not good.
Or you get your power. You unlock your powers.
Okay.
So what happens is...
So we're thinking Kamala Khan had them locked down and that...
It's in genes, it's locked down. If they're going the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. route.
Okay.
Which it seems like, to a degree, it just seems the same thing. Mm-hmm. So she gets hit with the mist, gets stuck inside her Terrigen cocoon, sees visions of Captain America, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel, who are her favorite heroes. And then wakes up, I guess, with her powers. You break out of your cocoon and you have your powers. And then it'd be about learning to use them, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Right now, as you're doing that, I found an article. Because there's many of them that are like, oh, what would be the perfect casting for Miss Marvel? And I feel old because it's like, for example, the person that they were like, this would be the perfect Miss Marvel. I go, who? Who is that? Have you ever heard of and I'm going to fuck up her name. I already know it. She's an Australian actress. Geraldine Viswanathan. I hope I said that right. I'm going to look at what she's been in. Oh, she was in Blockers. She was one of the girls in Cock Blockers, the John Cena movie that we were like, we should see. And then we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the last thing she was in was she was one of the girls in Blockers. She was John Cena's daughter is who she was. So I was like, hey, maybe I'm bringing something to the table. I'm not. I'm interested in that sense. And then that can tie it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but... If
they want to. I don't know if they want to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually part of the MCU.
They never did? I thought they did.
They did, but like it's more of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. referenced MCU than vice versa.
Because that'll lead me into this question then. Do you think we will have these Disney Plus series? This is them in general. Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll be a two-way street where, hey, they're part of the MCU, they can reference movie ones, and like, hey, if we want to bring on a Mark Ruffalo, we can, and set them in the universe, but at the same time, we can also incorporate, like, hey, we had Miss Marvel series, but we're having a big Infinity War-like event, let's bring her into this movie, or is it going to be very one-sided, where it's like, hey, you reference the movies, we bring these movie stars to the series, but we're not going to bring the series actors into the movies.
I'm really hoping the other way around. Like it is
a two-way street. I'm hoping for the former than the latter.
Yeah, and I feel like it from the way the talks are going, it's going to be more so that way than anything. Because before you really didn't get that. You had a one-way street mostly where it's like, okay, yeah, these TV shows reference all the movies in the MCU. But you really don't have any...
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on ABC, right?
It was ABC, yeah. Netflix and ABC. All still owned by Disney. All these shows reference the MCU, but you really didn't have anything.
But was it because they were on Netflix? Was it because they were on Netflix that... And I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on TV and then put on Netflix. I wonder if that was it. Hey, I don't want to include them because then we got to include Netflix into this. Whereas Disney Plus is, hey, it's us. We just got to worry about us.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if there's going to be more. I'm hoping, and I think there's going to be more of a two-way street now. So we get like a Galactus level event, an Avengers level event, pull some of them out or pull all of them out because Kamala Khan is part of that new Avengers lineup we're talking about, where it's
the Young Avengers.
I don't think that's the actual name of the group. I'll have to find it. I think it's like a 2016 run.
You're talking about female Cassie Young and
no.
You're talking about the actual Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers, where it's female Thor. You have Falcon is Captain America. Kamala Khan is part of it. Spider-Man, which is we'll see what happens with that. Who else was in there? Technically Iron Man, but obviously this is like, hey, they can do whatever version they want because also Vision's part of it. I feel like I'm missing Nova. Nova's part of it too.
Which they want to bring Nova in.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have some of the lineup. And again, Marvel can do however the lineup they want, but I mean, they kind of already have.
Marvel can do what they want. They'll take my money regardless.
Yeah, that's true too. But they have two of them already like, hey, they're going to be in the universe. One's coming in Thor Love and Thunder. One's coming in the Bucky Falcon series.
So you just popped something into my head.
Yeah.
Or do we see it much like this? Because we were going to have a topic about this like later on, like in a back burner. Mm-hmm. We still may, but I'm going to throw it in here in case we don't and maybe take it off our list. From like early August, there was it was Deadline that was reporting it, that ABC was in talks with Marvel to develop a new female-led superhero series. Because now we're getting Kamala, because we're getting She-Hulk, because we're getting like more female heroes, Black Widow movie. But which I think ScarJo's on the way out, and ScarJo wouldn't do a fucking ABC.
No, that's what I'm just saying though, as more examples. They're doing female-led or female.
Do you think that for example, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, do these lead into that, what you were saying? Mm-hmm. Or do they lead into this of like, hey, let's do that series we talked about where we have not necessarily the Avengers, but we have that all-female-led group?
I say why not?
Because we have talked about that in the past too, of like, will we ever get that? But is that the right move for Disney too? I know ABC is under Disney.
Maybe a little bit down the line after you get enough of these characters established, because you got to think, what characters are you going to actually pull over to? If it's going to be ABC, which ones are you going to be willing to pull over to ABC if you're going to make it connected?
The one it says, from what it says here, is, I'll just read from I'm getting this from Superhero Hype, so curated. Yeah. The potential project is quite similar to the untitled Marvel show that ABC has given a production commitment to last year, with Young Avengers and Wonder Woman writer Alan Heinberg writing the script and developing the series for the network. Heinberg's series reportedly focuses on female characters with superpowers, and that the drama will be utilizing lesser-known Marvel characters. It remains to be seen with such Marvel characters they're referencing to, but given her recent creation and popularity among fans, Kamala Khan, a.k.a. Miss Marvel, would be a likely bet. But now that she has a Disney Plus series, do they do that? Do they include her, or do they say, no, that'll be something else now?
I feel like it would be something else then, because unless they want, like you were, I thought you were saying like a female superhero group.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
and then they could pull. Like that's up to basically the question. I don't even know what to say yes or no to. Is if Disney wants to pull those characters and put them on an ABC show.
Congratulations, we just fired Bob Iger. You're Bob Iger. What do you do?
That's the $1 million question. I would know. I would keep all my stuff on Disney Plus for now when it comes to that. So you don't have your fans of this stuff jumping everywhere just to catch these shows.
Is it the $1 million question or the $64,000 question?
Okay, $64,000.
Remember that? Remember we had, when I was in school, this kid that was an old soul, where he was basically like everything was like from the 1960s, and he would always say that. Well, that's the $64,000 question, Ricky. And like me as 18-year-old would be like, the fuck did you just say? Like, what does that even mean? He was the same guy that also had a 1964 Buffalo nickel. So I thought about that when you said the $1 million question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. The one I'm most intrigued about, so if I had to rank them in order, Moon Knight right to the top. When you said all you had to do is say Batman with mental issues. Bam. Batman. He's at the top.
Batman with different mental issues.
Different. They both have mental issues. They're both going through some things, but this one's a little bit in there.
A little less controllable.
Yeah, a lot less controllable, I would say.
I was being nice to Batman.
Yeah,
Batman could work on it.
He could. He could go to therapy if he wanted to.
Exactly.
No, the bats are my therapy. Get out of my head, Alfred. But then I would say...
Stop trying to fix me.
Then I would say Miss Marvel. And then I would say She-Hulk. Which, by the way, if you haven't, watch the How It Should Have Ended for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to spoil it right here. So if you don't, watch it and then come back. Because it's like a few minutes. At the end of that, you know how they usually have Superman and Batman in the booth? Well, they're Kree. Kind of like in the Star Wars movie, and they're FaceTiming with Batman. They're like, "Yeah, I think he bought it, but I don't think he did." And the Batman goes, "What did you say? 'Cause I'm Batman?" And he goes, "No, it didn't really fit in the conversation. It always fits in the conversation."
Oh, you mean
Skrull? 'Cause I'm Batman. Yeah, 'cause I'm Batman. It's like, did you fit in 'cause I'm Batman into the conversation? Did you say that? Well, no, it didn't really come up. It always comes up 'cause I'm Batman. So I'm going to start doing that now, Johnny. Why? Because I'm Batman. But let us know what you guys think down below. You're like, whoa, this is off the rails. Let us know what you guys think down below about all these Phase 4 Disney series that they announced at D23 coming to us in the near future. Hopefully in the near future. And they don't make us wait too long.